Okay, now for today's video we're going to carry on with the fruit and veg idea. So we're going to go on to the banana. It's got a peel that can be put back up. Brilliant for children to play with. Ideal for toddlers' little hands. So we will need a lighter colour yarn plus your yellow, some stuffing. I always use a 2mm hook, a needle just to sew a couple of the ends in, stitch marker and a pair of scissors. Now for row 1 we need a magic circle. I have got a video on my channel of a magic circle, really slowed down if you have trouble with it. But we wrap the yarn around your fingers and you come back up to make the cross, like so. Hold it with your finger, go under the first one, pull back that second one. And then with the long piece of yarn, we need to yarn over and pull through. And this is your magic circle. So we need 6 single crochets in the magic circle. So we go under and we pull up a yarn, tidy them up a bit. So we go through one. This is our second one. And our third one. And the fourth one. Number 5. Oops. And number 6. So at this point I pop my stitch marker in. I always do it on my last stitch so I know which is the last stitch in every round. And then we want to tidy up this end here. It's got a bit of a loop. So to do that, you don't pull the tail end, you pull the one that's attached very gently and you'll see it close in. Like that, it's gone. Now we can close up the circle, give that one a tug. And it will close up more when we get onto our next round. So I'll just put my hook back on. Now round 2, we're going to increase into every stitch. So at the moment we have 6, we need 12. So we're going to go in through this first stitch and we're going to make 2 single crochets into each one. There's one, go back in the same stitch, and there's 2. And this next one is going to have another 2, so I'm going to count that as 3 and 4. And 5 and 6 in this one. On to 7 and 8 in this one. Nine and 10. And we need to remove our stitch marker for 11 and 12. And there we have row 2. Row 3 is single crochet all the way around, but first I want to tighten this hole up a bit. Still see daylight through it, so I generally wrap the tail yarn around a hook and hold it in place, but you need to feel it with your thumb. You want to feel it moving, but you don't want to pull it too tight that it snaps, because then you'd have to start again. So just ease it through with your fingers and you can feel it suddenly dip. There we have it, and it's gone. So we're going to go on to our row 3, which is a single crochet all the way round. So 1 single crochet into every stitch and you have 12 of them. So I'll see you back once you've moved your stitch marker. Now I've just put my stitch marker back in. So the row 4, we are going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 increase, and we're going to alternate that all the way around. So there's 1 single crochet and this one is going to be our increase, so 2 in this stitch. That's 1, 2, followed by 1 single crochet, and then our increase. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you at the beginning of row 5. Now row 5, we're on a single crochet round again. So 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around, and you should have 18 on there now. So I will let you carry on and I'll meet you at the beginning of the next row. Now for round 6, we are doing 2 single crochets and then our increase. We're just going to make it slightly bigger. So it's 1, 2, then we're going to increase in this next one here. 1, 2. So we do the same thing all the way around, 2 single crochets, then your increase. And I will meet you at the beginning of the next row. Okay, now for row 7 through to round 12, so that's 6 rows, we are just going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch. So you've got 24 on here at the moment. So I'm going to let you carry on, and don't forget to remove your stitch marker and replace it. And I will see you once you've done 6 rounds, so it'll be the beginning of row 13. Now this is row 13. We are going to give it a slight kink, so I'm going to reduce on one side and increase the other side just to give it a bit of a bend. So we're going to do 6 single crochets to begin with. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Get through there. Now we're going to do 1 increase. So in this stitch here we're going to do 2 single crochets. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next one. We're just going to alternate these for a little while. And then we're going to do another increase in this next stitch. So 2 in this same one. And then another single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to do our last increase in this one. Now we're going to do 4 single crochets. Spread it out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and because we increased around here, we need to start decreasing, so we're going to do an invisible decrease. So we pick up the front loop of the next 2 stitches. So there's your first one, swivel it round and go up to your second stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull through. You've got 2 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your invisible decrease. So we're going to do the decrease followed by the single crochet like we did on the other side, like so, and then we're going to do another decrease in the next stitch, followed by your single crochet, and this will be your last decrease because we did 3 increases, so we're going to do 3 decreases. So we still end up with 24 on our round. So the last stitch under the stitch marker will be your single crochet. So that's row 13 done. For rows 14 through to row 18, so that's the next 5 rounds, we are going to do 1 single crochet and we're going to carry it up. So that's 5 rounds of single crochet. I'm going to meet you back just before your stitch marker because on the last stitch of the last row, row 18, we need to change the colour. So I'll show you how we do that one. So if you want to carry on doing 1 single crochet into every stitch, I'll meet you at the end of row 18 before you get to your stitch marker. Now I've just finished row 18. I've just got one left under my stitch marker. So we're going to remove that, and we're going to do two things in this round. We are going to change the colour, and we're going to be working in the back loops. So first of all, we change the colour in our last stitch. So you go in and you draw up your original colour, and then we drop that one, and we're going to change it to the lighter colour. So you're going to finish it off by coming up with that one. That makes a neater changeover. Pop your stitch marker back in, and like I said, the rest of this round is going to be done in the back loops only. So we're going to tug the previous colour, and we're going to be working into the next stitch. Oh, I've got my stitch marker caught in one of those. Let's get you out again, put you back in. Just snagging on one of the threads. There we have it. Okay, so you've got your front loop here and your back loop there. So we're going to be going in this back loop only. And we're going to do single crochet all the way around. And as we do it, we are now going to be hiding these two threads. So we'll give them a tug now that you've done your first stitch. Into the back loop of the next one. Under both of those threads. This saves you sewing any ends in, because that is the worst bit. So if you take your time on these first few stitches just to get this underneath, there'll be no sewing in at all. See, make sure they are under your hook. Draw the yarn up, like so. And we're doing these back loop only all the way round. So there should be 24. And the reason we're doing this is so that we can have the front loop available here. All these stitches we need to add on for the peel of the banana. So I'm quite happy that I've got enough in there at the moment. I'm just going to snip these ends off. That way we can hide them completely as we go. So let's get rid of that one and that one. And then just continue with your back loop and make sure they are on the inside. And there we have it. Just keep going round and I'll meet you at the beginning of the next row. Row 20 is a row of single crochets, so we're going to go through both loops all the way around. And again, there's going to be 24 stitches. So I'll let you carry on. I'll meet you at the beginning of the next row. Now row 21, we're going to do the same as we did previously in the yellow, just to give it a bit of a bend. So we're going to start off with 6 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. And then we're going to be alternating our increases with our single crochet. So this next stitch is an increase. So we're popping 2 in there. 1, 2, followed by a single crochet. And then another increase. So 1, 2 in the same stitch. And another single crochet in the next one. And then our last increase after that in this one here. And then we're going to do our 4 single crochets. One, 2, 3, and 4, and now we're going to concentrate on our decreases for the other side. So again, we take the first loop, the front ones, of the following 2 stitches, like so. This yarn's are slightly thicker, so it's harder for you to see. There you have it. That's one, and then a single crochet, and then our second decrease. Just get that stitch mark out of the way. And then a single crochet, and then our third decrease, which then leaves you under your stitch marker your last single crochet. I'll take that out and get that one done. And replace our stitch marker. Now for rows 22, 23 and 24, that's 3 rows, it is just going to be 1 single crochet into every stitch. So you've got 24 stitches in each round. So if you'd like to carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 25. Now we're going to start closing the end up. So on row 25, we're going to do a decrease and then 2 single crochets. So we're going to pick up the front 2 loops of the next stitch for our invisible decrease. Yarn over, pull through both and pull through both, and then we need to do 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and do the same again, front loops, pull the yarn through, followed by 2 single crochets. So if you want to carry on with that pattern, I'll meet you at the beginning of the next row. Now row 26, we're back to 1 single crochet into every stitch. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the beginning of the next row. Now row 27, we're back on our decrease, so we start off with 1 decrease. So the front loops of the first 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet. You're going to follow that pattern all the way around, decrease, 1 single crochet, and it's at the end of this round that we're going to be stuffing it, because we're going to be down to 12 on our work. So I'll let you carry on, do your decrease and then your 1 single crochet, alternate it round, and I'll meet you when we need to stuff it. Okay, now we need to introduce the stuffing. So just gently push it all the way down. Surprising how much stuffing it actually uses. So I think I've got plenty in there now. There we have it. So row 28 is just a single crochet round. So you need to hold your finger behind it as you do these ones so that you don't pull all the stuffing up through. So all the way around we're going to do single crochets, which I think there should be 12 on this one now. Just So make sure you keep the stuffing away, otherwise you're going to be pulling it all the way back up through with your hook and it won't look pleasant. Oops, it's come off. Almost there. The last one is under our stitch marker. Pop that back in. Now row 29 is just a decrease round, so we are going to pick up the front loops of the next 2 stitches, pull it through, and you're going to be doing that all the way around. So you're going to end up with 6 stitches on your work, like so. So I'll let you carry on and I'll meet you after the stitch marker. Okay, I've just finished my last stitch. I'm going to cut a piece of yarn, get rid of that one, need to pull it through. We're going to close the hole now. It's what's known as finishing off. So we need to thread our needle, and then we're going to pick up all these last 6 loops. So we've got one here is your first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one here is our last one, number 6. And what we need to do is we gently need to pull it like we did when we closed the magic circle, just to close it all up. So you're going to hold it with your finger and your thumb and gently pull, and at the same time push down with your thumb to try and close that hole up. There we have it. So it's all gone, and then I just lose the thread back through, bring it up any way you like in the same colour, and give it a tug so it pushes it in. And now with this one I generally just push it through and through a different hole. So obviously try and follow a stitch mark so it doesn't look so obvious, and it will get caught up in all the stuffing that's in there and keep it secure. And then we just snip the end off. So there we have the main part of our banana with a slight kink. Now we're going to attach these peel of the banana into row 19 where we did the front loops only, well the back loops only. We now need to use the front loops. So we are going to attach our yarn. So we're going back to yellow. So just pick any one you like. So I'm going to go up in this one, and I always aim towards the last piece of work that you've done. And then we're going to pull that yarn through. First one is always a tricky one. There we have it. Now I need to keep a tail on here. So we're going to do 1 single crochet there. And then we're going to go into the next stitch, which is this one here. You can just pick up that front loop that we've left. Obviously we want to hide this in because we don't like sewing ends in. Whoops, come off. Let's try that one again. Front loop, yarn over, pull through. This is your second single crochet. We're going to do 8 of them. This is your next loop, so this is number 3. And next one's number 4. number 5, come up, why don't you want to come out? There we go, bit of persuasion. Number 6, I'm just going to snip the tail end off of here because that's plenty that's already caught up in there. This next one's number 7. And number 8 is our first one here down the bottom here, so it doesn't matter that we're joining onto another row. It should all be the same row, so it'll be hidden now. That way you won't see the colour change. So there we have 8. Now for the next row we need to chain 1, turn our work around, and we're going to go straight back down the other side for 8 single crochets. So this one here is our chain, so we're going to go into, this is our first stitch. So that is 1, give it a wiggle and it'll come through. And then as you can see, here's our next one. Next one's number 3. The next one's number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. And because we started on this one, it's quite hard to see, but you go in this end bit here, push it through, and that is your number 8. The next ones will be a lot easier to see because it'll be on your chain 1. There we go, so we know we've got 8 stitches on there. Chain 1 to turn it round for our next row, so this is going to be row number 3. Now for rows 3 all the way through to finish row 8, it's 1 single crochet across. So there's 8 single crochets all in all. Remember at the end or the beginning that you start your new row, you do need to chain that 1. So as you can see, I've chained 1 here. The first stitch is this next one here. And then from there you're going to do 8 single crochets all the way across your work. I'll do this first one with you again. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, get in there, there we have it. And the last one is hiding just here, number 8. Get my fingers around it. Go in. There we have it, number 8. Again, chain 1 and turn. So now you can see as you go back down your next row, that is number 7 and this one here is number 8. It gets easier as you go further down. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of row 9. So you need to do the next 1, 2, 3, 7 rows of 8 single crochets. Okay, row 9, we're going to start with 1 single crochet. We've already done our chain of 1. And then we're going to decrease because we need to make it smaller. So we need to pick up these front loops of the next 2 stitches. like so. This is going to be tricky bringing the yarn through these ones. There we have it. And that's our decrease. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and then another decrease. Give it a wiggle and it should come through. There we go. And then our last single crochet in this one here. Chain 1 for our next row, and then we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is our last one, number 6, and we're going to chain 1 so that we can turn our work. Row 11, we're going to start off with our 1 single crochet, and then we need to decrease by 2, so this is our first decrease. And then our second decrease. Make sure you get the whole of the front of the loop with the next one. And I'm going to finish that row with our 1 single crochet. Get back in that one. There we have it, so we're going to chain 1. Row 12 is just 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and the last one's in here, 4. I'm going to chain 1, turn our work. Row 13, we are going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So these next 2 here are decreases. Gets tricky as you haven't got as much stitches to work with. Just try and get that front one only. There we have it. Put it through the second front loop. There we go. And then we're going to finish off with this 1 single crochet and our chain of 1. There we have it. So row 14 is just going to be 3 single crochets and we're going to finish off. 1, 2, 3. Just pull the yarn back through, leave some so we can hide the yarn. And give it a nice tug. There we have it. So our banana peel goes right up to the top if you want to close it up. So now you need to carry on. You pick up the next 8 stitches on your next one. So obviously we've already used this one here, so we're not going to touch that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll stop there. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll finish there. So if you want to carry on, do it again twice, and I'll meet you when you're finished. Okay, I finished off my third one and I've already sewn 2 ends in, so I'm just going to go through this last lot of ends with you. So you thread your needle, and then on the right side I literally pop it through anywhere and give it a tug. That makes it nice and secure. And now we're going to go through some of the back stitches here to weave our end in. You just hide it underneath stitches. Now you want to do it for quite a few, because if this is going to be played with children, then obviously it's going to need to be washed. So we don't want this coming apart if it's washed. Let's find the next stitch. These are quite tight ones, but we don't want it coming out, do we? There we go, this one should be enough. I need my pliers for this one. My hands aren't very strong. There we go. So that's nice and secure under the back of it. Snip the end off. And there we have our nice peeled banana, which has got a slight curvature on it. And they will all close up at the top. So there we have them. So if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and I'll find a different piece of fruit to put up for next week.